Hello, everyone. Welcome to Joe the Lawyer. Today, we're going to take a look at an article, Ohio law students asking Supreme Court to grant license without bar exam amid coronavirus pandemic. We're going to read through the article, and then I'm going to give you my opinion of the article. This is Joe the Lawyer, where we talk about legal news, legal topics, and the law in general. I'm Joe Pometto, a practicing Pittsburgh attorney. If you like my content, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. It's a free way to support the show, any one of those things. Mostly looking for subscriptions right now, but a share would really boost me. If you like this article and you know someone who would like it, send it in Facebook Messenger, send it in a text, spread this around. It's the best way for me to grow as a small channel here on YouTube. But thank you very much. Let's dig into this article. Again, Ohio law students asking Supreme Court to grant license without bar exam amid coronavirus pandemic. I took the bar exam. It was brutal, but it's kind of like a rite of passage. So let's see here. Because of uncertainty caused by the coronavirus pandemic, a group of Ohio law school students is asking the Supreme Court of Ohio to consider granting law licenses in lieu of the July bar exam. That's the one I took, July 2013. Hundreds of graduating Ohio law school students have signed a petition asking the state Supreme Court to let them practice law without taking the July bar exam because of uncertainty caused by the coronavirus. Their proposal? Students graduating from accredited Ohio law schools who had planned to take the July bar exam should be granted a one-time emergency diploma privilege that would grant them a license to practice law. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? A letter with the request was submitted Tuesday to the Ohio Supreme Court, student organizers said. It had more than 400 signatures by Wednesday, including the presidents of the student bar associations at each of Ohio's 9 accredited law schools, they said. Interesting. It's causing us an immense amount of anxiety, and it's really stalling the trajectory of our careers and the ability to plan our lives moving forward, said Ben Winter, president of the Capital University Law School Student Bar Association and one of the authors of the letter. The Ohio bar exam is currently scheduled to be administered July 28th, July 29th. July 29th is my birthday. It will be the first time Ohio uses the Uniform Bar Examination, which is coordinated by the National Conference of Bar Examiners, the NCBE. That wasn't in place when I took it. The passage rate for the past 5 years of July bar exams in Ohio has been around 72%, meaning more than 25% of law school graduates do not pass. Some states, including New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Hawaii, have already postponed their bar exams until the fall due to coronavirus. But that's not ideal, Ohio students said in their letter. Oh, I bet it isn't. Arguing that postponement would delay their legal careers, force them to study for the bar while under a legal practice workload, and could have financial ramifications for those graduating with debt. The students proposed that in lieu of the bar exam, the newly licensed attorneys could complete an extra 12 hours of continuing legal education by the end of 2020. They also pointed to other states, such as New York, which is considering allowing graduates to practice in certain circumstances under the supervision of licensed attorneys. Such ideas seem to be gaining support. The American Bar Association approved a resolution urging states to allow limited practice for recent graduates, so long as they are supervised by a licensed attorney. Those students would have to take a bar exam by the end of 2021. Even if the Ohio bar were to be postponed until September, students said there's no telling whether it might have to be postponed again should there continue to be limits on mass gatherings or a second spike in COVID-19 cases in the fall. The students also argue the legal profession will need new attorneys to represent those who lose their jobs and homes amid coronavirus precautions, though some law firms are laying off staff as a result of the pandemic, and there's already a glut of attorneys in some markets. I don't buy that argument for 1 second. Legal services are almost not needed at all right now. Very simply, the biggest concern I have and that most law students have is the terrible uncertainty that's coming with not knowing what our fate is. Boy, okay, said Renee Aid, president of the SBA at Ohio State University's Moritz College of Law. So much hinges on the question of licensure. The Ohio Supreme Court has not made a decision on the July bar, but the NCBA has said it's preparing materials for a July exam as well as 2 additional dates later in the year, September 9th through 10th and September 30th through October 1st. Each state would have the option of offering the test in July or the September dates. The state Supreme Court will make a decision in consultation with the Board of Law Examiners, the deans of Ohio's law schools, and its bar admission professionals. Aid said students understand there could be concerns about granting license to all students when typically more than 25% don't pass. That's why we've proposed options that have a lot of supervision attached to them. Administering the bar exam during these unprecedented times would result in inequities, Winter said, pointing out that students might find themselves sick or caring for loved ones who contract COVID-19, caring for children now suddenly out of school or unable to study in their usual environments. Yes, there is a time and place for competitiveness, Winter said, but given everything that's going on right now, I really believe compassion is key here, and understanding that we're all in this together and that exceptions are going to need to be made. I have so much to say about this, so much to say. I don't agree with them being granted what they're asking for. This privilege is basically for their license to just be granted to them because of coronavirus. Now, she said it herself, 25% of people don't even pass. So that would be like the Ohio State Supreme Court giving a law license to 25% of a class that would never have been lawyers otherwise, or which would have had to take the bar exam a couple more times. I don't agree with that, okay? It's watering down the field a little bit. I know it's a single year, but still, that's exactly what is going on. Number 2, I don't even know if this is advantageous for them because they would always be known as that year of students who became lawyers without taking the bar exam. And I can tell you, lawyers are already pretty ruthless. I mean, lawyers are ruthless. You may see them outside or you see them on commercials and they seem really nice, this and that. But law offices are brutal. They're competitive. People talk behind your back, make fun of each other. I mean, it happens all the time. It's not a good thing. I'm giving it to you guys straight, okay? I try to be a very, at least in my own practice and with the attorneys, I try to be a magnanimous person, but I'm giving you the reality of this practice, okay? It's pretty brutal. I would not want to be known as the class that didn't take or pass the bar exam. It would be detrimental to their careers in the long run, even if they think it would be good for them in the short run, which I also don't even agree with. There's just so many other ways to work this out instead of just giving them a law license. Like they said in New York, limited licenses to practice. I think that's a great idea. And then they take the bar in 2021. That will actually give them more time to study. I mean, an extra couple of years where they could practice and then take the bar in 2021. But I still believe that you should have to take and pass the bar exam. They're also arguing that they don't have enough time to study. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, some of us right now have a whole lot of time. That's true. If you have kids, you may have less time than you did prior to the coronavirus. But the majority of these law students likely don't have kids, okay? They're in their early to mid-20s. They're taking their classes at home right now. They have nothing but time. And when I took the bar exam in 2013, okay, I had to take it in July. If they moved it back to September or October, that's an extra couple of months to study. So number one, even so, they would have more time during those months because of coronavirus. I'm arguing that they would. Most of them would. Okay, I'm sorry. Don't BS me. They would. Even if their days were more clogged up because of corona, which I doubt, unless they're a parent, they get a couple extra months to take it. So there's just no good excuse. Number one, this free pass would hurt them in the legal profession in the long run. I guarantee that it would. They'd be discriminated against and known as the class that didn't pass the bar exam. Number two, they will have more time. This coronavirus may actually give them more time to prepare. I think a great middle ground here is. A great middle ground here is the temporary license, okay, and you push the bar exam back to 2021. There is no no super need of legal services. Right now, I have less cases than I've had since I started practicing, okay, and all my cases are on hold. It's just not true that there will be a greater need for legal services. Firms are laying people off. It's just not true. The practice of law, I call the law industry is a top end industry, okay? So when the economy goes bad, it's one of the first industries to take a hit, okay? But when the economy is going good, they benefit greatly from it, from a good economy. I mean, law, when the economy's good, law is burning and turning. But when the economy's bad, it's bad. It's sort of on the extreme end no matter what, all right? So I can't buy almost any of I almost do not buy any of their arguments for the free legal privilege. Now, the only thing I can say is maybe it's a bargaining tactic that they use, ask for more and accept less. Fine. If that's what they're doing, fine. But that's a ridiculous request, the free bar exam, especially because we don't know how long this COVID-19 is going to take. They might be able to take it in September. They might be able to take it in October. But again, in the long run, I don't even think that it would help them. And really, this just reinforces, I think this is a bad look. I'm really surprised that I think they said here that the SBA, the Student Bar Association, which is like the student government in a law school, that the presidents of all of them actually signed this. I would be embarrassed to sign this, okay? So I'm kind of surprised that every single one of them signed it. I personally, I would feel better signing a more reasonable request, okay, such as the temporary law license or the postponement of the date, but not asking for this free law license again. I don't think it's good for them, and I don't think it's good for the practice of law in the long run. And it just feeds this entitlement narrative for people today who are in their early to mid 20s. I mean, they're asking for this. They're asking for a privilege here. That I just don't think it's necessary. If it was necessary, I would understand. Okay. So that's my 2 cents here as someone who's a practicing attorney, and I went through the regular bar exam and I worked during law school. So it's not my cup of tea. But thank you very much for watching Joe the Lawyer. If you like this article, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. I'm really asking people to share these videos. Go ahead, drop it in a text message, send it in a Facebook message, put it on your Facebook page if you like it. I want to get more exposure. It's the best way for me to pick up new viewers. If you sign up for my email list, you'll get a free PDF on what to do when pulled over by the police. Joe the Lawyer out.